Hello everyone, Luke here. Hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. For me personally, it was very average, all things considered. Obviously, I was working, but managed to have a lot of relaxation, watched a lot of stuff, ate a lot of stuff, got some very good presents from my family, which I'm very happy about, and also as well, we're nearing 2025, but. Of course, with all new things, some things must end, and we've had the announcement that in a couple of chapters, we've got this chapter, then we've got the next chapter, and then the chapter after that, the chapter after the next one that's coming up. This coming Friday will possibly be the final chapter. It is looking like that. They have announced that the final chapter of Mission Yozakura family, which, yeah, considering they've defeated Asa, they've finally got the freedom that they deserve. It's only natural that we've reached the end point, which actually, to be all things considered, I'm glad that we're going out with like what is presumably going to be a three part finale to the series. So yeah, without further ado, let's just dive right in to the ending of Mission Yozakura Family Part 1. Now, like I've been saying, Witch Watch will be the series that will be replacing Mission Yozakura Family for a couple of reasons. Primarily because it's one of the series that I enjoy reading week to week, and also as well because of the fact that we've got so much going on in Witch Watch at the moment, and we're in part 2 of the series. And I think there's going to be like more parts after that. There's probably going to be a part 3 and a part 4, which, given the nature of Witch Watch, it could go on for just as long as some of these other series, if not more. Like, we're nearing chapter 200 on Witch Watch, which I'm hoping that's the first chapter I get to review, start off on a nice round even number. But I feel like it could go on for, like, say, another 150 chapters, so ending at chapter 350. I feel like that would be pretty fair for Witch Watch 10, but that's for later. For now, we're starting on chapter 256, titled Banquet Part 1, and they're not even hiding the fact that, yeah, this is like the ending 3-part finale. We get to enjoy the banquet, the feast, kind of what they do in One Piece, when after a major arc we have the big feast and everything. But with this, it's a little bit different, but we'll get into that when we get into it. So we start off with getting a little bit of a time skip, not as major as the 5-year time skip. It's basically 1 month has passed since the battle with Asa at Tenryu Academy, and now they're all back at the Yozakura mansion. But of course, Tayo is absolutely going incredibly crazy. He's just like, "My wedding ring? What's my wedding ring? What's my wedding ring? It was on my body. Like, I'm sure it's gone. I'm sure it's gone." And you can just see like the blank white expressions on his face, just really getting him panicking and everything. It's just like, okay, it's gone. It's gone. I know, and this is quite important. It's quite an important day for me now. I've got to care into it. Like, Mutsumi, have you seen it? But we cut to Mutsumi with her grandmother and the maid that looks after the Yozakura twins. So it's nice that, hey, the grandmother's back. Like, so yeah, they did not die. Ban and his wife. So it's nice that they're still alive, and they're still part of an older generation that can still be the sort of grandparents, great grandparents to the siblings. And Mutsumi is just being like really casual about it, like, "Huh, you lost your wedding ring? Oh, like, we're trying to get ready for something here, Tayo. Like, can you look for it later?" And we just have Tayo just going like, okay, I know I went to bed with it, and well, when I woke up with it, it's gone. I know I had it on me when I went to sleep last night. I don't take it off, well, ever. And it's just there, like, you're thinking like, okay, yeah, I know people are really attached to their wedding rings, but you figure out there'll be at some point it's like, okay, yeah, I've got to take this off for a very specific reason. And so as Tayo is completely panicking and literally feeling like he's about to pass out from the fact that I failed Mutsumi for losing my wedding ring, I can't believe it, on today of all days that I lost it. He starts to apologise to Mutsumi for losing it, but she's just there like, it's okay. it doesn't matter right now. You don't have to apologize at all. And I believe that the reason that she's doing this is because of the fact that she nearly lost Tile. Like Tile nearly died in the Battle of Asa. So I feel like she's thinking like, you know what? Compared to almost losing Tao, him losing his wedding ring is no big deal, and it could probably honestly be replaced in her eyes. But of course, Tao, like replacing the wedding ring, yeah, that's not an option. That is like completely off the table here. But we actually do get an explanation of why they're actually going through this, why they're actually going through this banquet of all things. As she says, "Oh, the cherry blossom flowers are just an excuse for a banquet, and we're only doing this because the twins said that they wanted to see basically how it's all done." As we have them going to the flashback. So the flashback takes place a month before this whole chapter, as they're all said like, it's good to be home. And it's funny because this whole thing with all the cobwebs here, it's a very funny story here that my own mother actually told me yesterday, when I was just about to be born, and how she had to go and how she had to live with her mother-in-law, my grandparents. And then when they came back to the house after I was born, after I was nearly born, because they came back like New Year's Eve, so like a week before I was born. I have to ask her like why they actually were at my grandparents. But essentially, when they got back, there was in our house, it was all dusty and cobwebs and everything. And literally, Shion says the exact same thing here. So like perfectly reminded me of the conversation that me and my mother had, basically revolving around my birth. So yeah, also like I said, a week tomorrow, when this review goes up, it'll go up on Monday. So on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, which is New Year's Eve, that'll be a week before my 34th birthday. So yeah, on that day, I've got plans. I'm looking forward to them. I'm going to be watching some Power Rangers with people in a server that's other than Control Chaos. So I'm looking forward to that. Really excited for that. Got a very good lineup of the Power Rangers episodes for that. But anyway, that's besides the point. And we have everyone just we have. Whilst everyone else is just scurrying around everywhere, we have Mutsumi in her cleaning robes and being like, "All right, everyone, it's time to get ready for the cleaning. It's time to get everything done here." As we have Alpha and Hirofumi just scurrying around everywhere, just like playing around with Goliath and everyone, and they just come across these two kimonos, and they're just there like, "Oh, pretty, but what are they for, mother?" And she explains to the twins like, "Oh, they're outfits for the Cherry Blossom Fells." And the Alpha's just there confused like, "What the hell is the Cherry Blossom Fells?" Before she said, "Oh, it's a special banquet for a Yozakura family tradition. It's a married couple that have got to pray to Temu, the family's sacred tree." So basically the Cherry Blossom tree that's out in the Yozakura grounds where they repeat their vows, and they're like, "Oh, okay, so it's just like a Shinto wedding." Yeah, basically, and they're just there like, and we just have Hirofumi going like, "Oh, Pop, Mama, I want to see you in that kimono, and I want to see Papa in that kimono as well." And Mutsume and Tao are just like, "Okay, we weren't expecting that." And we did have our wedding reception. We had it a long time ago. And Hirofumi's excuse for this is just like, "Yeah, but we only saw it in videos, and we weren't even born then, and we want to see you probably dressed up in person." And this is just an excuse for Creature to just see Musume dressed up in the kimono again. As Futsuba's just there like, "Oh, just grow the hell up, Karichiro." And Mutsumi, despite everything, despite being like confused by, "Right, you really want to see this? You really want to go through with this?" She's just like, "Well, we did come back from like our biggest mission ever to vanquish our greatest enemy ever. So I think we can have a nice downtime, little party celebration to just celebrate the fact that yes, we are free to be a proper family for a change. So yeah, they're like, okay, so yeah, it'd be perfect to celebrate this. So let's go ahead with it. And they spent 3 days just gathering everything together and finding guests from not just the academy, but also from their acquaintances. So everything has been prepared for the big banquet, and we see cameos from various characters from the series, including Reen, Alex, Kazuya, like Alex's daughter, who was going to be married to was going to be married off to Shinzo. So it's nice that we got like a little callback to the Shinzo wedding arc there. Very nice touch there. But most importantly, we have Shuru here hugging Futaba, and while it is great to see her, it begs the question: where the hell was she during the Asa takedown battle arc? Like, where was she during all this time? Because I honestly thought that she was going to be like an opponent to go up against Futaba. Because we had Ryo for Shinzo, we had Kai for Koichi, we had Hulang for Kengo, we had Mozu. We had Mozu with Nano. Like, I honestly expected Shuru to be like one of the Gorak spies that would honestly go up against Futaba. So where the hell was she? I don't know. That's besides the point. That's just a little nitpick that I had there. And honestly, it's not a big deal because we still got to see Futaba's truth being blooming in the end. But yeah, they're just there thinking like, oh, this was all going to be perfect. It was all meant to go well. At least that's what they all thought that it was going to be. But it isn't like they're exchanging their rings at the ceremony, so it's fine. But to Tao, this means everything in the world primarily because he feels like the ring is a symbol of not just his connection to the family, but his primary connection to Mutsumi. Obviously, it's going to mean that much to him. So as Tao is just frantically still searching for his ring because he feels like, no, a banquet and a ceremony without the wedding rings, it would just feel so wrong to him. We have Kengo and Futaba being like, there's the man of the hour. Come on, Tao, what's wrong? It's a big day, and you look like your death is warmed up here. Like, don't mention death and Tao in the same phrase. Kengo, especially after what he's been through. And as Tao is being dressed up in the kimono, she's like, well, you see, stuff happened and everything, and I don't know what to do. And they're just there like, no, we haven't seen your ring, and they're just there like, oh, Keigo, take that off his head, because you see Keigo putting a love heart over his head, and Fruita's just like, just take it off his head, and Fruita's just like, these hems need to be clean, they need to be smudged. Maybe we can ask Ayaka while she's cleaning this to find out exactly where the wedding ring is. And so Ayaka is informed about it, but she's just there like, oh, if I find it, I'll let you know in an instant. But Ayaka doesn't even miss a speck of dust when she's cleaning, and if she hasn't seen the ring, she would have no idea where it could be, according to Tao's fate. Thesis. And I do love, like, we're also getting like various cameos, like more cameos from various characters, like I said before. So we have we have some characters in the background with Shinzo. I think it's the one where I think it's like Shinzo's like little friend, which people are like a bit like, is there something going on? Like, are we really okay with Shion being with this character? Like, yeah, we're gonna gloss over that. Like, let's just gloss over that. But we also have Ban and Goliath cleaning what I presume is Momo's grave. I'm assuming this is Momo's grave that they're cleaning right here. Yeah, it's either Momo's grave or Rin's grave, or maybe it could be Subumi's grave. Who knows? But more than likely, it's probably Reed's grave. They're just there saying like, have you talked to Ai? Maybe she could track it down by his scent. And this is where we get like the big like, oh my god, didn't expect these characters to show up again. So we have Ai saying to Tayo like, no, I haven't seen it, and Tayo's just there like, thought that. As we see in the background, not just the children of Asa, but we also see like the various leaders of Tampopo that are still around. So it's nice that we get like these cameos from the various members of the villain factions that the Yozakuras have gone up against, that are now like pretty chill with them, pretty cool with them, because since both their like main leaders are basically no longer in the series, they really have no reason to fight anymore. So yeah, it's nice that we've got that confirmation that yes, they're still alive. They're all cool with each other. They're all chill now, and they're now hanging out with Nanano, including the student that Nanano was part of the chemistry club back at high school. So it's nice that we've actually wrapped up them and figured out, oh, so that's where they are. That's where they've been all this time, and really cool in that regard. So yeah. Nano says maybe someone found it but hasn't been able to give it back yet. So that's a possibility, Tayo. And Tayo's just like, oh, if that were the case, it should have shown up on our security cameras or sensors. And I is like the first one to think like, maybe it was a spy, a super secret spy that managed to somehow sneak in, steal it off your hand, and take it away from you. And Tayo just immediately disregards that. Because first and foremost, the number of people who could pull that off is so small. But of course, Tayo instantly is just there like, oh, I know exactly who was taking my ring right now. As we see, obviously, Ring getting drunk. We have Hifumi being like, okay, where do I put up this picture right here? We have Sosuke there with a few of the spies, as we have also Musumi and Tayo Love. So yeah, nice again to see all these various cameos. Really well done. That the author, despite not doing much with them after their initial setup, it is nice though just to see like, oh no, they are still part of the series, even though, like I said, yeah, and that's one of the things that I will give a little bit of criticism to the series on, is that yes, we focus so much on the family, but at the same time, it's kind of diminished the side characters that really people do get attached to way more than sometimes than some of the main characters. And of course, the person who was taking the ring was Karicho. It was fairly obvious it was him, and I do love the little bit here with him and Tao, because Karicho just like, oh, your ring? Having the foggiest idea of what's happened to it when it's literally right there, and Tao's just like, oh really? And that's funny to me because that's exactly the kind of thing me and my brother would do. So it's nice that despite them not really being brothers like the brother-in-laws, they still have like that real true sibling bond, that they're just there like really teasing each other in the most obvious unsubtle way. But yeah, Tao at this point is just there just being like, do you have any idea what the panic I've been going through here? And Karicho rebuttals this like, oh, you do know that you don't take very much care of it, and you can't do much about the dings and discolouring atoms that build up over time on this ring. So I've got to do a good polishing with the steel spider cloth that will have it looking better than new, and giving it the perfect shine that will get it into the true banquet form for this banquet that's going to happen. But I couldn't care less what it means to you, but it's for Mutsumi ceremony, so it must absolutely be perfect. So yeah, he's using the excuse of just being like, yeah, I don't care about what you're doing, what you think, Tao, and what's going through your mind about how much this ring means to you, but if it's for Mutsumi, I'm gonna make this polished. And Do watching you wander around aimlessly despite desperately trying to find it, that was very amusing for me. So I'm going to be repeating it for the banquet's guests over and over and over again, as Tao's just like, sure, okay, but no, I know the true reason why you were polishing this ring and why you were doing this, and it was just as much for me as it was for Mutsumi. As we get Hifumi just being like, oh, Uncle Keigo's got a bit. No, don't look at Uncle Keigo when he's in that form, which is what Alvaro is saying. As he's just there covering Hirofumi's eyes. But he goes. Tao goes on with Koichi and says, Alpha told me something interesting, that during the big fight with Asa, he saw a future where he saw you die, a powerful truth being blooming, and yet it puts so much strain on your body that you can only use it once. That's life. But at that time, there was just one person there wasn't just one person you could have used it on. It was me and Dad that you could have used it on, referring to Momo. But thanks to the twins, Dad could have come back to life without you using it on him, even though that didn't happen. And a lot of people like debate like whether or not this was like the author saying like, yeah, I wanted to kill off Karicho, but I was told that I couldn't do it. And like I said, I'm still in two minds about that, and but like I said, I feel like it does still work as a finale, because at the end of the day, Karicho gets that opportunity to just be like, I get to punish Tao over and over and over again. I get to torment him, and there's nothing he can do because I literally saved his life. But it's not just that. It's also the fact that Karicho, like Tao, has really put the weight of the family on his shoulders, and probably also debated to himself as well that I could sacrifice myself to save Tao, but is that what Mutsumi would want? And he knows in his heart that that's not what Mutsumi would want. And Tao says like, oh, if you had to use it on both first or shoulds to what might have happened, worst case scenario, you would have given me life at the cost of your own. And Karicho's just there like, I need brain breach after that thought, like just thinking about him giving his life to save Tao. It's just like, yeah, I don't want to think about that. But our mission was to destroy Asa. That was accomplished. The mission was over. I had no obligation to go out of my way to give my life for yours. But Tao's just like, no, you would have done it. You would have done it anyway. But again, Mutsumi probably would have been like, I don't want that. Like, even though I think you're a creep creature, you're still my brother, and I still love you. And Tao says like, oh, you cared too much about me. You respect me. You have since the very beginning. And to cut back right to the end of the first chapter. So yeah, things that were set up in the first chapter are really coming back into play in the finale. And this was something like, yeah, now that you think about it, it's like, yeah, this was actually confusing the first time as well. But Karicho deliberately loosened the threads on him, so like it didn't actually go through Tao's hand, because as we know, Steel Spider can cut through solid rock, so it would have easily just ripped off Tao's fingers. And Tao even brings this up, like, if you hadn't have like deliberately loosened it, my fingers would have been off, like just trying to get through Steel Spider. So yeah, when you stop to think about it, that could have been like a major plot, or like, wait, if Steel Spider could cut through solid rock, why didn't he cut off Tao's hands? And this is where we actually get the answer. And it's something that I always wondered about when I first read Yozakura. Like, yeah, Steel Spider is very strong and very durable. So why? And if it could cut through like really anything, like cut through rockets, cut through solid walls, like why wouldn't it like just rip off human flesh, like rip off Tao's hand? This is the reason. Karicho deliberately loosened it because he started to respect Tao. He started to think like, no, this is the guy that I know I can trust my sister with. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to make his life a living hell. Tao says, I didn't grab the ring. You allowed me to take it. You had said to me this whole time, you've been looking after me. And yeah, he really has. Even though he does hate Tao's guts, he does still respect him and love him as a member of the Yozakura family. And Tao honestly genuinely thanks Karicho, but Karicho just is like, I'm not a very sappy person, Tao, so just take your ring. And Tao's just there like, hey, that was an important conversation, an important ring moment. And Karicho's just like, it's good as new. Now take your disgusting sappy gratitude and get lost. And Tao's just like, oh, why must you always be that way? Because he's Karicho. He's always going to be that way, Tao. But this is where Karicho's just like, Tao, just take care of Mutsumi for me. And Tao's just there like, yeah, I will. And we see the look of just being like, yeah, even though you are a pain in my butt sometimes, Tao, I will still respect you, but it's gonna take a lot out of me to say something like that, and I'm not gonna be like this really sappy big brother to you. You are just gonna have to accept that. I'm gonna say what I'm thinking in a roundabout way, and you're gonna have to accept it. And Tao's just there like, yeah, I get it. Like, even though he's gonna cause my life a living hell, I know he can be someone that I can really look at and trust. And it's nice that we actually do get like this closure on the relationship between Tile and Creature, finally coming to understand and respect each other, not just as human beings, but as siblings as well. As we have them going, oh, you aren't going to suddenly disappear again like you did that one time, right? And they're just there like, oh, you don't have to throw the book at me corner first, before we have the actual ceremony starting to happen as we get the captured Mission Yozakura 10th generation Yozakura family head and Tile Yozakura. The Cherry Blossom Fell ceremony begins as we get like a double page spread of all the Yozakuras minus Koichiro, as well as their families and friends, and that's where the chapter ends. So really nice, wholesome chapter to kind of start the wrap up of the series, and I feel like that's what's going to happen right now. There's no threat whatsoever, no reason for any fights to happen, just nice, wholesome moments to wrap up the series. Now, like I said, I feel like a lot of people still are a bit on the fence, like, was Karicho's death really planned, or did Gondaria Sensei feel like, oh, I want to kill him off, but then he was probably like, would mute me like that? Like, I kind of feel like he was in two minds, and he was kind of like debating, and I think he just gave into pressure, or he could have been like, no, I really wanted to go with that, because like I said in the last chapter, they've been through so much. They deserve happiness. They deserve to live life as a family. And we got like the nice little wrap up of Tao and Koicho's relationship, and really showing the evolution of how they've grown as characters to each other and to the families around them. Now, in terms of how the rest of the chapters are going to go, like, just anything can happen at this point, and it's just things we're going to have to wait and see on. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasher Luke signing off. Later, guys.